Hey, this is Vinyl Keith coming at you with another video. Today I want to talk about a young lady who was a huge star when I was growing up as a teenager. I'm going to take you back to the MTV years, maybe even a couple years before. Do you know, everybody knows the first video ever played on MTV was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. The backup question is what was the second video ever played? Do you know the artist at least? I'm going to show you who it was. It was this lady, Pat Benatar. Born in New York, January 10th, 1953. She stood 5'0", maybe weighed 95 pounds, soaking wet. But a voice that can fill an arena. Operatic, but her heart was in rock and roll. Okay? This lady could sing. Powerhouse vocal style. Beautiful girl. The darling of MTV in 1981, 82. You couldn't get away from her. She was all over the place. Okay? She came out with her debut album August 27th, 1979. Okay, 2 years before MTV even started. She had one hit off of here. Well, two. Heartbreaker. A rockin' song. She had a badass band, too. Ended up marrying her guitar player, Neil Giraldo. Man, that guy could shred on a guitar, though. Very underrated. She had a great band, too. Pat on vocals, Neil Giraldo on lead guitar, Scott St. Clair also on guitar, Roger Capps on bass. That core of the band stayed together for these 4 albums I'm going to show you. These are her first 4 albums. On the first album, Glenn Alexander Hamilton played drums. Then after that, this album, he was out. And he was replaced by Myron Grombacher for the last 3 that I'm going to show you. So her band was consistent, okay? This album went platinum, charted number 12 on the Billboard 200 charts, okay? And the second video ever played on MTV, I'll get to that because it was on her second album. But yeah, the Heartbreaker, I Need a Lover, In the Heat of the Night, that's the title track. We Live for Love. Those are some of the standout tracks. This lady could sing. Rocked her ass off. Okay? In the Heat of the Night, that was her debut album. Then, my favorite album from her, Crimes of Passion, released August 5th, 1980. Charted number 2 on the Billboard 200 and sold 4 million copies. Incidentally, her first album sold 1 million. Okay, all 4 of these are platinum. You Better Run was I think the lead-off single for this album, and it was the second video ever played on MTV. That's quite a distinction. And that was on August 1st, 1981. Okay, a year after this was released. In fact, her third album had just been released a month earlier when MTV started. So, I don't know why they played a song off here first, but they did. Kind of weird. But, this album's chock full of hits. Treat Me Right, You Better Run. The biggest song, well, Hit Me With Her Best Shot. That's probably her most well-known song. Her most controversial song was on this album too, Hell Is For Children. And she just talked about child abuse in that song. Fantastic album, okay? All 4 of these are fantastic. Just rocked your ass off, okay? There's the band. She ended up marrying her guitar player. That's Neil Giraldo right there. And they're still married, apparently. But yeah, this is fantastic. Sold 4 million copies. You couldn't get away from her on TV. She was all over it. Then, July 6, 1981. Still 3.5 weeks or so before MTV hit the air, she released her third album. Okay? Precious Time. Promises in the Dark, Fire and Ice, those are the two hits. This charted number 1, believe it or not, and sold 2 million copies. Yeah. So about 3.5 weeks after this, MTV hits the air. Then they, second video ever played was off this album. You Better Run. And she was like one of the earliest stars on MTV. She was all over it. You Better Run, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Promises in the Dark, Fire and Ice. Now there's a thing about that. She was in those two videos, Promises in the Dark and Fire and Ice, she was wearing this black, it was like a live performance video. Both of them were. And in both videos, she was wearing this black jumpsuit kind of thing that kind of buttoned down the front with a pink belt around it. My God. Melted the hearts of every teenage boy in America, I'm telling you, including me. Fantastic stuff. This album rocks too. She could rock. You know, next to Joan Jett, those two were like the biggest, most famous female rock artists at that time. I would say they were pretty even. But she could sing, though. She had the better voice, obviously. She had the operatic style, but she used it for rock, so she could just sing the high notes. She had a little bit of growl when she wanted to. Fantastic. 2 million copies it sold. This was her first, I think her only number 1 album. And then, October 29th, 1982, she released Get Nervous. Okay? It also went platinum. Charted number 4 on the Billboard 200. And, you know, as you can see, she had this whole thing about being crazy. And that was for the video Anxiety, Get Nervous. Now, this album is really good, too. The first hit off of it was Shadows of the Night. She played a pilot in the video. But it's great vocals in that song. Looking for a Stranger was a big hit. Anxiety. Little Too Late. That was another one. Look at this back shot of her in the band. Pretty cool, huh? I just wanted to give a shout out to Pat Benatar because she's been part of my music listening experience, you know, since I was a kid. And I absolutely love these 4 albums. I didn't go any farther, you know, after, you know, once this was released, I think she released some kind of a live album that was okay. And then I went in the service and got married and, you know. And these are really the only 4 I've ever listened to of hers, I'll be honest. I haven't listened to anything else. I know she's had a couple of hits after these 4 albums, like We Belong. I can't remember the other one. There was like a studio cut on that live album that was pretty popular, but I can't remember the name of it now. I didn't look it up because I don't have that record, so, you know, I'm not being lazy. I just don't listen to it. But yeah, Pat Benatar. You know, check her out. These first 4 albums are just ridiculously good. Okay? In the Heat of the Night, I forgot the name of it. Okay? Crime to Passion, They're easily her biggest album. Precious Time and Get Nervous. You want an operatic style, growling female vocal? Pat Benatar. That's the way to go. All right, that's all I got for you.